Hey, what's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Interestingly enough, I boot up my Gran Turismo 6 anniversary edition, 15th anniversary edition. It's a very rare copy to find, and I was able to find one. And I connected my HDMI 2.1 Belkin cable to my PlayStation 3 Phat, which is right over here on this side, as you can see it. And I have to say, this game, this Gran Turismo 6 from PlayStation 3, the upscale looks fantastic right here on the TCL R617. Just look at this NBP photon technology, which reproduces the Y color gamut. Now, obviously, PlayStation 3 in this game doesn't support HDR, but I gotta tell you, this NBP photon technology that reproduces this high DCPI color accuracy, okay, and the meaning Y the color gamut, and then having that 96 local dimming zones, those active contrast zones being implemented, it just makes even this old game like this look really good. Now, you guys probably would like to know, well, what type of picture settings am I using for Gran Turismo 6 PlayStation 3 game? Well, I'm going to show it to you in a minute. The one thing I'm doing is I'm using a TV brightness to normal, and the picture mode I left it at low power because since I'm not running in HDR, because this is not an HDR game and PlayStation 3 doesn't support HDR, there's no reason for me to be cranking that TV brightness all the way to high. So I left the TV brightness at normal, and I left my picture mode at the low power. Now you're going to ask, well, why did you leave it at the low power? Because there's no reason for me to use the settings that sucks all that peak brightness and contrast, because I'm not using an HDR here, so I don't want to crush my white bright levels. Picture size is direct. Local contrast dimming zones, obviously this is something I use for achieving that nice contrast ratio, so I keep the local dimming at high. But this is where it becomes very important, right here at the bottom. Remember, we are not using HDR, so I'm not trying to squeeze any peak brightness. And remember, you don't want to push that backlit all the way high, and you don't want to push that contrast and that brightness all the way high, because we don't have any HDR here, so basically we are not taking advantage of peak brightness here. And the last thing we want to do is we don't want to overblown our white bright digital levels. So I kept the backlit at 55. I left the brightness at 50. The only thing I moved was the contrast. I felt that the contrast is something that I can move a little bit higher to the maximum, because I don't have my backlit set all the way to high. So that way I left my contrast at 100%. Sharpness I left at a 30. And color temperature, it's set to normal, and color it's set to 50%. And I turned off all of these filters. The game mode is on, and this is what's so really amazing as well, is the fact that I am using a game mode. And so, I mean, for my PlayStation 3, I have it selected on the game mode all the time, and I suggest that you guys do so as well. So let's look at this replay again, and you will see just how beautiful this looks. I mean, this is a PlayStation 3 Phat Console, okay, and It's, well, actually, let's look at the Gran Turismo 6 cover box and let's see exactly what type of resolution it supports. Well, it supports various different types of resolution, 1080 interlaced and 1080p. So no wonder that we are getting that nice, excellent upscale, because we are getting a 1080p source resolution here. And this is why I always keep telling people, when you have a 1080p HD source being upscaled to 4K, that upscale is going to look much, much better. And that's the case here with the Gran Turismo 6. This is the anniversary edition. I was lucky enough to be able to get this 15th anniversary edition, and it's very hard to find this copy, and I was able to get one. And this is my PlayStation 3 Phat Console. This is the original 2007 console, and it looks great. It's in good condition. This is the Metal Gear Solid Guns of the Patriots 80 gigabyte edition, and it was released in 2008, as a matter of fact, but it's still the same serial number as the one in 2007. And what's so unique about this console is the fact that it can play your PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and of course PlayStation 3 game. So with this console, you can play all of your PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. So here, I want to look at the replay one more time. And like I said, remember how I always used to say, this is why it's important to have a really good source resolution. And here we are on PlayStation 3, Gran Turismo 6, running on a 1080p source resolution, native 1080p. And when you have that native source 1080p resolution upscaled to this television in 4K, well, guess what? That 8.3 million upscaled pixels will look much better on a native 1080p source instead of 720p. And this is why it looks so good. Now, just so it happens that this TV has a NBP photon technology, which makes the picture quality look even better. And it's really amazing. Just I'm really surprised how beautiful this game still looks. This game could have been released today, and I would be okay with this. It's really done nicely. Gran Turismo 6. I'm not sure what year Gran Turismo 6 was released. I think it was probably 2012. I think it was 2012. I'm not sure. I think it was. I could be wrong. But I think it was 2012. But even after all these years since 2012, just look how beautiful it looks. Sure, there's no question that they squeezed as much power as they could from PlayStation 3 with a 1080p to get the best possible graphical enhancements here, and it definitely shows here. This anniversary edition that I have has 1,500 plus additional 25 cars. Let that sink in. 1,500 plus additional 25 concept cars that's only available on this edition. 70 plus different types of courses, they're available. So this is like the most definite Gran Turismo game that you can get. And it looks beautiful. I mean, and it's, another thing I want to say. Yes, there will be some tests on Sony X900E, and yes, there will be some tests on Samsung KS8000 and all these other televisions that I have, because I know you guys been missing that, and you want me to do some tests. But I still am blown away by TCL this year. I want to say something really quick. I am really blown away by TCL and what TCL has been able to achieve with only $600 TV. This is a $600 TV. And just look at the picture quality that you're getting. Just look at this beautiful, look at these deep dark levels of that active contrast zones, 96 local dimming zones. It just looks phenomenal. So it's a short little video, what, 12 minutes. I felt like doing this just to show you just how beautiful it looks on this TCL 55R617. Maybe I can bring my camera a little bit closer. You guys can look at the replay again. I'll do this for you, not a problem. You guys can look at it, and there it is. Look at those deep dark levels. Look how beautiful that looks. Need I remind you, this is a PlayStation 3 console. And yes, the Belkin HDMI cable, ultra high speed cable, works with PlayStation 3 Phat Console. I do have my Belkin HDMI 2.1 cable connected to it. Alright, so it does work. For those of you who are still skeptical whether or not you can connect a Belkin HDMI ultra high speed cable 2.1, yes you can. You can connect it to PlayStation 3. Does it look cleaner? Yes, it looks much cleaner because you're getting the best possible bit rate. I mean the best possible transfer data. Okay? That's what you're getting. So there you have it. Hopefully you guys like this video. And for those of you who don't believe me that I'm using a Belkin ultra high speed cable, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video by showing you that I have it connected to my TCL 55R617 television via my PlayStation 3 Phat Console. And there it is, you can see it right there. That's my ultra high speed Belkin HDMI 2.1 cable. There it is. And even from this angle, it looks very good. That's because we have those 96 active contrast dimming zones. They're being implemented here onto this TV. Alright guys, well thank you for watching this video. I'll see you later on today. I'm still debating whether or not to do a Guns of the Patriots live stream or to do Eternal Darkness live stream. I do need you guys to vote, so why don't you guys vote? Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys later. Take care.